I can contain my passion for this project.
We have been very excited to sit before you and share these details for quite some time. And we've been very patient with the courthouse and as they use the Orpheum through, their renovation project following the tornado. So it's given us extra time to think about all the details that could go into the Welcome Center and how we could truly serve our community and students. You'll see up on this title page, we have whole student. You've probably heard that term before. You may not have heard the term whole family. So really thinking through the Welcome Center and a whole family registration and intake. We have Rachel Inks with us here, and she has been my elbow partner through this entire project and trying to draw up all the details. There's not one person, I wholly believe, in the entire state of Iowa, maybe further than that, that has the skills to take on a project like this and make it successful. So she will be doing the majority of the talking tonight, and I can jump in as you need.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm really pleased tonight to be with you to really talk about Bobcat better and reimagining some of our processes that we've had in place for a long time and really meeting the needs of our super diverse families that we serve in Marshtown schools. I also want to point out that this is specifically Superintendent Goal 3B. If you want to take a look at that in front of you.
Laminated.
Draw your attention to that. I noted that back there.
The list.
Yeah. So keep in mind that I'm just trying to paint a broad picture today for you just to get a sense and a feel of what will happen at our Welcome Center. And so this first slide just serves to show you the footprint that will occupy within the Welcome Center itself. So having that east side entrance and then maintaining some first floor space and really being a place that's a hub of uniting our schools and our communities is kind of what we're going for that theme. Next one, please. Thank you. All right, I want to start with sharing a little bit about the purpose, the need that we have for a Welcome Center community, the preparatory research that we've done, and we're still ongoing in that, and then what staff would occupy that space and what would that footprint look like within the Orpheum as well. So we're going to start chipping those off one at a time. So the purpose of the Welcome Center is really to offer that new and efficient way for prospective families to choose Marshalltown. We want them to discover what our school systems can do in support of the families that we serve, choose Marshalltown, thrive in Marshalltown, and also want to give an opportunity to specialize and work with having that lens on attending to those unique needs of our families that have immigrant experiences, migratory experiences, and English learner needs that we need to quickly prepare ourselves to move forward on and ready ourselves. We also want to acknowledge that a lot of our staff will be supported through those funding streams. So we do recognize that it's important to support all families moving into our school system, but also want to have that vein of importance through that population as well. So just we want to bring you kind of a lift forward of some statistics around these kind of reasons that match the purpose for our Welcome Center, in that we want to just take a pause and talk about who are we as a system? What do we know about our students and our families? So our English learner population still continues to be dense. So in a nutshell, we are the 4th highest count in Iowa, according to 21-22 enrollment that was in Marshalltown. And we also sit at the 4th highest in the percent of total enrollment for our school systems. I went ahead and listed those other 3 for you as well, so you just get a feel for that. Storm Lake and Denison are about half of our size, a little over half, a little under half. And then Postville is very small. So we sit really in a unique space of that density. We also are diverse. We've learned that tonight through many of our presentations. I would even share with you that we're super diverse. We have 42 languages besides English that our families and students use. Birth countries is something that we've seen a little uptick in. We've noticed that now 9.4% of our students are born outside of the U.S., having about 41 different birth countries along with that U.S. birth country marker. And they all come to us through different journeys. They might have an immigrant experience, migratory experiences, refugee experiences, or even a term that's beginning to gain traction with our Ukraine persons that are here are displaced persons. And so it's really an opportunity to learn more about their journey and how we can help them move forward in their educational needs with our school system. We've also seen an uptake in new student enrollment data. This is not, the Welcome Center would not be necessarily a hub for students who have continuous enrollment, right? Who are moving from our students one year and continuing to be our students the next year. Our focus would be to have that lens of support for new students that arrive into the system. So I just wanted to share with you some statistics over the last few years and just kind of point out that so far into the new school year, this is not counting preschool, this would be just kindergarten through 12th grade. We've had 398 new students join our school system, and that would be students who we were not anticipating to join after July 1. So we'd already accomplished our contact with kindergarten families that are coming into the system. And then in addition, just since the start of school, we've had 125 new students join our system. So that's a lot since day number 1 of school. That number is trending higher, and you can see this is only as of November 1st. So we are only expecting that number to rise. I personally am working with families from Ukraine, and we're seeing those, I would say, about once every 3 weeks joining our system. I just met with a family today, Ukraine, that's bringing 3 students into our system as well. I also want to draw our attention to a communication audit report that was done in 2021, strongly suggesting that we begin an international welcome center, and with the purpose of enhancing communication and better serving the needs and interests of non-English speaking and minority families. And that report also indicated that many school districts with diversity trends similar to those experienced by MCSD have created a district-wide department that's especially geared toward non-speaking English newcomers. So we can enroll our students anywhere in Marshalltown schools, but I believe we can open our Welcome Center and really focus on learning more about our families and learning more about those experiences, and really thinking through that lens on an initial time and intake process that we can then share with our families and share with our attendance centers. So again, and the final thing that I wanted to share with you that during the 21-22 school year, yes. That's an error up there. Yep. We made 3 visits to Des Moines Public Schools, which has a welcome center, to Cedar Rapids, which has a welcome center in addition. And then we zoomed with Sioux City, that also has a welcome center. This year in December, we're looking at targeting a date to Ottumwa to go visit their welcome center. They just opened that this school year. So it'll be a good opportunity to really dig into what their experiences have been and what they have learned, and help us grow with that. The staff that will be on site and will be also connected to our central office staff as well. So I just starting from the tree on down, and this is a little bit hard to see on the screen, but the persons that are connected with the blue boxes will be on-site staff at the Welcome Center, which will be at the Orpheum. And then the persons that are in the red, which is the top, and then the top right, will remain here at central office, but are very connected with Welcome Center happenings. So in general, what the most important piece I want you to know on this screen is that we will be hiring 1 additional staff to make this come forward and live out in Marshalltown schools, and that's our new family liaison. We're looking for that just right person that can bring that, I would say, the social lens of really working with the families and having that careful intake process to learn those stories, and then to be able to turn that around and share it with the school systems. We're also looking for that new family liaison to be able to work with community partners and connect our families with resources that are needed. So often we find about those connections once we realize that there are some struggles in place. And it's our opportunity to be open with our families and ask them if there's anything that they might need to start out their journey right away in Marshtown schools and connect them with those resources. We'll have 4 staff over there, myself. I'll also join that staff and just do probably a gentle shift to my title, just more encompassing a diversity population as well. And then we will have our receptionist who will join, who is currently already on staff as our program support person. Yeah, you can do this.
Okay, so the staffing is very exciting, although if you've been in my office area, Rachel is literally right next door, so it's gonna be a pretty sad day when she does take off and spread her wings over to the Welcome Center. We will hire a new intake or family intake specialist who we hope to be bilingual and to be able to kind of fulfill a lot of the different gaps and skills that we know we need to have over there. This is the actual footprint for the Orpheum. So if you've been in there, this probably makes a lot of sense to you. The big square is what we call the black box, if you haven't been in there. Anything that's not in that blue tint is not a part of the Welcome Center footprint. So that east entrance, the beautiful like 2-story windows, you go straight in those doors, and right now that entrance or kind of lobby area typically I think had these tables with coffee chairs. It might have been like a seated area for people or an overflow area for the coffee shop. And really we're looking at trying to put some seating in there for family members and have like a countertop that is spacious enough for both our Stacy Mommer and our receptionist to sit there. And then the bigger area, and I can't read the number on that. Can you read the room number?
I think it's labeled as a learning studio, maybe.
Okay, so the learning studio is actually the location where we would provide some of those wraparound services for the family, and they'd spend the majority of their time processing that registration. And many of you might have been in our buildings during the start of the school year. You might even have been in the like central office area where you walk in and you see families sitting and waiting. That registration process really can, or enrollment process can take quite a while. So we're really thinking through the lens of like, if they bring in young kids and children, how do we help them, the families feel at home and at ease with this entire process that it takes to collect their information, and then connect them to agencies. So before I get too detailed, I'm looking at Rachel's next slide. Let's go to the next one here. And Rachel, I can pass it back to you.
Yeah, so this is a slide that really serves to connect the community mural that's on the outside of the Orpheum right now, entitled Perspective. And that's exactly what we want to do, carry that theme on the inside, that getting perspective on our families that join us, really sitting down and meeting with them eye to eye, and having that face-to-face conversation and learning so much more about them. As an example of what I worked with tonight, earlier this evening with our family from Ukraine, is I used part of the processes that we're trying out. One of these is the Bobcat board book, I would say. And I use that to have a conversation with our families about what does school look like in America. That is not something that's familiar to our families. And so that's a process that I was able to use. You might recognize some of those locations within, and just sharing that journey on how the students will grow and move through the system was really, gave us an opportunity to share that experience with them as becoming Bobcats. I was also able to try out one of our processes that is a student intake form. And not only that serves to collect information about the student, but also as the whole family. Just 2 things I wanted to lift up from that today. I was able to dig in with the family and really learn that the mom is a gymnast and was a teacher, a kindergarten teacher in her native country. And she is willing to dedicate time at the schools and volunteer at the school, even in the PE room. So to be show the students how to do some of those gymnastic skills. So I thought that was just wonderful, and that came about on asking a detailed question that talks about what hobbies or experiences do you have as a family. I also learned from one of our students that is coming in and joining us from another country that she likes the violin, but she told me that that wasn't in her life path to continue on with, and she is a fourth grader. So even though I told her about Commercial Town Youth Foundation and how we can help her with that journey, so unlocking these stories and sharing these assets that the families have is something that I really want to bring to life for our buildings. Rather than receiving a student without all that background information and without just that cold information that comes from our registration process. So those are a couple things, and I'll also hand you out the intake process that we use and as this. And then also I was able to share with them kind of a detailed look at where they've been placed at. So this particular family is ready to join a school, and they were able to take that flyer home and just really have that picture at that school right in front of them, those key individuals, and that initial phone call, so we could really talk about attendance with that family and the importance of calling the school and notifying the school when they're going to be not with us for the day of learning. And on the back of that is a map that we're working on that really centers our district attendance center and our welcome center, and then situates where our schools are related to that, so that they can leave the welcome center and really know where they're going to be connected and how they're going to be connected with the Marshtown schools. These are all kind of drafts in progress, so we're all trying them out and learning about that as we go through and setting ourselves up to be ready for opening doors in July for that, meeting that goal. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this slide and read to you all these details, but something I do want you to know is that we have a current process for registration and it works. I think we need to have a renewed process, and it's an opportunity for us to do that and really showcase the care and the level of attention that our students and families need. I said that a few times, but right now a family can register at any of our attendance offices or central office. That sounds really convenient, but it also creates a little bit of misunderstanding and confusion. They may opt to go to an attendance center at one of our 6 elementaries, and that may not be the attendance center that they end up joining. They may opt to go to Lenahan and register their family, but then they might not have, they might have siblings at another building that they haven't been addressed or been talked to about. And while they're doing that registration at that attendance center, they're working with the secretary, who is also charged with working with the principal and all the students and handling all the phone calls. And so while we know that they do their best to work with our students, that place that they help the families register from isn't always within eyesight, nor is it within hands-on. So oftentimes we'll see a family that stalls out in that registration process and really needs more help. So those are a few of the needs that we have for registration. And then another one of their goals besides the registration is to really work on that student family intake process, which you have a picture of that in front of you. And then I also have a checklist that operates behind the scenes that we wouldn't put in front of families, but really are our talking points to really highlight what are those district logistics, programs, events, and what are some of those policies and practices that we want to lift up to just help our students understand the importance of attendance, immunizations, opportunities for health and wellness that we have, other policies that we want to bring forward depending on the student's age as well. And all the way trickling down through how can your parent be engaged and what is a minimum expectation for learning expectations. We aren't, it's new for some of our families to have a one-to-one Chromebook and what that looks like, and just some of those really important things that make our school grow. Another service goal, I mentioned this too, is to connect with the families with resources. So we just this is not an exhaustive list by any means. So we value all of our community partners, but these are a few of the key ones that we really wanted to bring forward as supporting that need that our families may have. If there's some instabilities that they're experiencing in the homes, that we can connect them with our community partners right on the spot. And I did want to also mention that one of our goals is to maintain that lens on the immigrant and migrant English learner experience. And so really having that opportunity to talk about what has been that educational journey. Has it been interrupted? What did school look like for you? Instead of just, did you go to school? I mean, yes or no is the answer for that, right? But to really drill down and unpack what school looked like for the day. What were the opportunities? How long was that lunch break? I mean, that sort of a question is what we're looking for. And we're also looking to capture the family in that honeymoon phase. So right when they're coming into a new area, new opportunities, so we can reduce that curve down to that anxiety level. So we can really keep that more even keeled. And we'll also be able to administer our English language screener assessment on site. And just do all the great things that we know that we can position ourselves in Marshalltown schools to really learn from the very beginning. So this is a timeline that we have. It's ranging from what's not on here is my folder that I've had since 2009 on welcome centers, and really I got that out of my desk. I keep few things, but that's one of them. All the way from fall of 2021, we've been working on this really hard, and we continue to stay on this journey and open up July of 2023. We'll be very excited, and I know we hold a great degree of responsibility for our community as well, and reopening our icon within our community. And this will be a proud opportunity to do that.
So once this opens, will all school registration take place here?
So this footprint will help our new students to register. So we will direct any families that are new to our school system to the Welcome Center for that registration process.
So if a family's been in the system and they know where their student's going, they'd still register at their home school.
Right. So with continuous enrollment, if there's a student who has moved away and attended a different school or just stopped on that journey, we are going to route them back through our Welcome Center again.
That makes sense.
So all kindergarten registration would be done at the Welcome Center.
So right now, new kindergartners, meaning that if they've been with us in preschool, that will roll up through. So we'd be welcoming our new kinders through that vein.
But all preschoolers would be going here.
We'll probably still need to have a preschool registration event, since this footprint within the Welcome Center won't host large quantities of people at one time to invite in terms of like registering. Mm-hmm. So if you haven't been to the registration at Miller Middle School in July, or haven't had an opportunity to join the preschool registration thing, we are not equipped at this attendance center to do those big gatherings for that purpose.
So your passion for this is evident. And I just think this done well is going to be a tremendous benefit and asset for our school district and for our families. This done not well will not, right? I mean, yeah. But it seems like we've got the right people in place to do this well.
Well, I think, well, first of all, I want to commend Rachel and Shauna for their work, which you've heard. The reality is that we have many of these systems already in place, but they're in different places. And so it's not convenient to navigate, and it probably contributes to some of the functions of the registration taking longer than they otherwise could. And then I think also with a laser focus on this, with the Welcome Center, there's great opportunity for enhancement of the services that we currently provide, which Rachel talked about, especially as it relates to connecting people proactively with community resources and services as well.
I wanted to mention too, Sean, we are also invited to an upcoming meeting in the community that is going to bring forward an international welcome center that will be slated to be open in Marshalltown as well. So more focused on that adult sector. And so I think this will be an important companion piece. And we look forward to that partnership as well.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this as for the kids, for families, for everybody. This is going to be, this should be great.
It's really important to get the right people there. I agree with you.
And I do believe that when it's done well, they'll keep coming back and we'll see families returning, asking for more support or for other agencies. And they'll know that we're a trusted partner to help them with the agencies that are here in the community.
So what are some of the key things that you know, when you went and visited the other welcome centers, some of the key things that really stuck out to you that you want to implement here that you saw there?
A few of the things that we looked at, just in general, one of the things that stuck out to me with Des Moines was the process for entering into the facility. And also they had moved around that facility a lot. It was a one location, but it had been kind of put in open school. And so we thought, sometimes when you visit, you think, what do we not want to do?
Yeah.
Also as well. So that was something that we were looking at to really have that welcoming experience. We also looked at the staffing, and we recognized that we already had some key people in places that could support those roles. With the Sioux City in particular, really looking at their use of unique roles in helping bring on their families in terms of like the student intake specialist. I would say that's not something that Des Moines Public Schools is doing at this time, but it's something that Sioux City is working on. I thought that was an important element too as well.
Des Moines had these incredible cardstock pamphlets that really showcased the different programs that they had in multiple languages. So that was something we've mocked up a few of them, you know, thinking through the lens of if the family shows interest in something specific, we can put a portfolio or something together for them that really gives them the direction and how to access that here in the community, but also in the school district.
So I know one of the things that when I was at Miller, students dealt with is we had students who didn't ride school buses, they rode the city buses. So will you have someone to help coordinate that if you've got a parent who's working and has students at different buildings?
Yeah, so transportation is always something we ask about on our registration process. We want to make sure that all those barriers are removed. So we'd look at different opportunities for them. The school bus would be one of those. If it's not possible, what city bus existing opportunities would be. And we definitely make a call right to the city bus location, which we've done before, to go ahead and kind of pinpoint where those stops are at.
Other questions or comments? Okay, thanks guys.
Thank you.